Joining me today is Dr. Erin Stokes. Dr. Erin is a naturopathic doctor and medical director at WishGarden Herbs, which is a woman owned, family run, and made in Colorado organization company business, empowering everybody everywhere. Dr. Erin, thank you so much for being here.
Becca, thank you for having me. I'm delighted to get the chance just to spend some time with you and chat about herbs and health and well-being.
This is something I could talk about for a long time, and I'm super into it, especially right now. But my first question is, what is your favorite color today?
well, purple.
I love
I'm
it.
embodying purple. I don't know. I think purple is a power color in the best sense of the word. I mean,
Yeah.
and just in the sense of just showing up, being bright. I really gravitate towards purple in general. How about you?
Yes. Well, yes, I'm the same. Purple is well, not when I was younger, but more as I became older, I was very drawn to purple. And I think the color's connection to so many things and so many different layers. And I love the color purple that you're wearing today. Like that's the purple that I resonate so much with. So yes, I love that. Okay, how would you describe yourself? Like for people who may not be familiar with you and what you do, if you could put yourself, and not in a box or anything like that, but describe yourself and how you show up in the world, I guess. What would that look like?
I'm somebody that really loves to connect.
Mm,
So I connect with people whether I'm walking into the gym or I know the name of my post office lady and I always call out to her. I'm really one of those people, whether you're very close to me or someone that's just intersecting with me. I believe in the power of connection and that we're
mm,
supposed to connect with one another.
mm.
And I also believe in the power of connection to the earth and
Yes.
to the plants.
Mm, absolutely.
So I think that really defines a lot of who I am because then I further go to connect with people like you through conversations. One of my
Mm.
favorite things to do in the world is I've been a naturopathic doctor. I should back up a little bit for almost 25 years.
Mhm.
And I had a practice for over a decade. And I taught at Southwest Acupuncture College just outside of Boulder. And I realized that really my passion was using my voice more broadly as much as
Mm.
I love working with people one on one. That's just what I'm supposed to be doing in the world. So there's nothing that makes me happier than having a conversation with you and then being able to bring that out. But I do believe when people hear something that's interesting, intriguing, inspiring, and then somebody helps give them actionable insights, that leads to fundamental change.
Absolutely. And I want to reflect back to you that when I was looking at the Wish Garden website and I was looking through the workshops that you do, I was immediately drawn to you. Like you do have a very charismatic energy. You're very welcoming. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally friends with Dr. Erin right now. And I had never met you. So I want you to know that that comes through energetically. Like you're very approachable. It's not intimidating. It feels safe. So thank you for the way you show up in the world. It's so good.
Well, thank you. I mean, like all of us, it's been an evolution.
Yeah, sure.
We're all, changing and growing. And so I feel
Yeah.
happy to be where I am now, but always learning and growing. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Good. What were you like as a little kid? Have you always been drawn to plants and the earth, even when you were little?
Yes, I would always, well, when I was really, really little, I'd say the thing that I was most drawn toward to were books. I was
Oh,
a
okay.
avid reader.
Yeah.
And I had my nose in the book for a lot. Books like Wrinkle in Time was one of
Yeah.
my favorites, and books about other worlds and other times. And so I read a lot, and then my connection, I think, to the earth sort of grew as I gained a little more independence. I definitely played sports, which I think is great as a young girl.
Mhm.
All the sports I played:
Yes.
soccer, basketball, softball. So I was on a lot of teams and able to spend a fair amount of time outside. And I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio,
Mm,
which is in the Ohio River Valley. And a lot of people
mm,
don't realize, it's 10 minutes away from Kentucky. And
mm,
so it's a very diverse ecosystem. It's sort of where the South meets Midwest, and very humid, but also very fertile. And as I got older, I spent more time, I had a little more independence to go spend time in parks. And there's a lot of beautiful botanical gardens. And I just started to really be drawn towards the plants and the trees, and learning about them. And that's
mhm.
what drew me to learning more about the healing power of plants. And then plant taking over a little section of our yard to plant an herb garden when I was in high school. And I come from a medical family, so it was
Okay.
definitely not in any way like an opposition. It was more, this is my path. Like, I don't really think I'm going to
Yes.
become a surgeon. Total respect for the surgery that you're doing, but this is where I'm going. And it's almost, how you are sometimes pushed in a good way to defining who you are by, like, I was asked often, are you going to go to medical school? Are you going to become a doctor? When I was pretty young,
Yeah,
because there was a legacy in my family. And I thought,
sure.
I don't think so, or I'm going to do it differently. So
Yeah. Ah, that's so cool. What was one of the first things you planted in your garden? In
echinacea. I mean,
Oh, really?
it's such a beautiful cone flower. It's just such a beautiful flowering plant, and things grow really easily in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I mean, the soil, unlike Colorado, where you often have to amend the soil and,
Yeah.
do different things just to
Oh,
really
yeah.
nurture and give some love to your plants. I'm telling you, you put like a shovel in the soil in Cincinnati, and it's just that dark, rich earth and like plenty of rain, and so
Ah.
things grow pretty easily.
That's cool. I love that. And I'm sure with everything you've done, you've experienced so many different soils and different ways to have to grow all the plants. If you were to, this might be a tricky question, so maybe you can adjust it, but if there were people that wanted to plant like three herbs and
Mhm.
they were very worried about doing it, what would you recommend? I know that can probably vary a lot based on where you're at, but if you could do it like in the kitchen or like a outside container, what would you recommend?
Well, I think the first one, I think it's a great question, and so relevant with the time of year that we're in.
Yeah.
Farmers markets are just opening back up, and in some places, maybe depending where you live, they've been going year round. But I know in Colorado, for example, recently opened back up. So I would honestly start with sweet basil. And I mean
Okay.
sweet as in the energy of basil, just classic, Italian
Okay.
Genovese basil, because it's a lovely both container plant, or it can go right into the earth. And you can
Okay.
start with a starter. I mean, you don't
Okay.
have to plant. It's also a little late to start things from seed right now. I mean, you could,
Yeah.
but you can go get yourself a little starter, and
Right.
either have it in a pot or out in the ground. It likes sun.
Okay.
It likes good soil. It likes sun. It definitely needs to be watered. And it's
Okay.
just a fun one. It's a great one if you have kids or
Mm,
roommates. Like, it's a good one where people can go out and pick a few basil leaves and put it on a tomato salad,
mhm,
and
mm.
just start to interact with the plants, because that's the main thing. Don't necessarily need to grow medicinal plants. You can, but it's starting to interact with the plants and having that feeling too of growing and tending and nurturing something, and then
Mhm.
the plants give back, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm having like fresh basil on my dinner tonight. And
Yes.
so I'd start with that. And then thyme is a different, really different kind of plant in a different family. And
Okay.
it's more hardy and, kind of almost woody, and can often overwinter in a lot of climates. But thyme is one that has,
Okay.
you think of thyme for like lung health, for example, and again,
Right.
culinary. But those are a couple, and those are
Okay.
two you can easily get, no matter where you are. And I would say, I don't want to say start small, because that sounds small minded, but start, with like, I don't know, baby steps. Like, you don't, where I see people sometimes get frustrated is they're like, all right, I'm gonna like create this big herb garden, and I'm gonna
Yes.
have like 10 different herbs. And the Indian that they just,
Yes.
so I don't think you can do that. More power to you if you want
Sure.
to do that, but you don't have to do that.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. And I love what you said about interacting with the plants because it is such a reciprocal relationship. And then if you're doing that in the plants, I do believe that translates to how you interact with the earth as a steward of the earth every time you are with her. So I love that.
100%. I had the opportunity when my son's now 19 and in business school at CU, but when he was younger in elementary school, I would volunteer at the school garden
Yeah.
and watching kids pull out a carrot out of the earth for the first time, it's pretty amazing.
That's so cool. So that segues perfectly into what can we teach our kids right now, young or young people that we know about plants and herbs so they start their connection early. Like somebody has little kids or even teenage high school kids and they're like, "Where do I start? Is it with the basil and the thyme or what would you recommend kid-wise?"
Well, kid wise, I think there's some great school garden programs. So
Mm.
that's happening at school, but you can do a version of that at home. Just
Mhm.
grow something at home that
Okay.
it could be a vegetable. And again, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do, buy a tomato plant. One easy thing to do is the cherry tomatoes,
Okay.
the cherry tomato plants, because
Yeah.
then they start to produce. It will be later in the summer, granted, but then you can go out and you can say, whether it's a teen or a young one, be like, "Hey, could you go pick a couple cherry tomatoes for our salad tonight?"
Yes.
And get someone to just go outside. And I think it's actually kind of most powerful. It can be great if you're there too, but where they just have that moment where they sort of figure it out and they're like,
Yeah.
this one looks a little green still. So I don't think I'm going to get this one looks good. Oh, this one already fell off and is in the dirt. Maybe
Yeah.
that one's, overripe. And you just learn by doing. And it can be
Yes.
so simple.
Yes, I love that. And I think that keeping it simple, even if you, like you said, not limiting and not making it small, but simple as a way to expand what you're doing. I love that. That's so cool. Okay, so I was curious as I was looking up some things about you. You talk about hawthorn, and I've been reading, I don't know why, well,
Mhm.
pray, maybe serendipitous or synchronous, but hawthorn has come up a lot in the books that I've been reading lately. So tell me about Hawthorne and your connection
Love
to
to.
Hawthorne.
And I'm curious, has Hawthorne come up in the books that you're reading that are fiction or are books?
Both.
Both, because there's a lot of symbolism in
Yes.
Hawthorne. So
Well,
I just
yes.
didn't know. I was curious.
Yes, they're
Um,
books. Yeah, yes, they're both. It's interesting. Yeah.
so Hawthorne is a beautiful small tree,
Hmm.
and it has white flowers that bloom in kind of like early, depends where you live, but like late spring or early summer. And then the white flowers, we know that the flower then becomes a fruit in plants in general
Hmm.
and becomes hawthorn berry. So it's this beautiful red berry that is known to be a tonic for the heart
Mm.
and
Mm.
has been in European, especially in European traditions, for a long time, and is also written about
Yeah.
poetically. It's considered also a heart opening plant.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
one of my early teachers used to talk about if you look at the hawthorn tree and you look at the branches, you'll notice that there are spikes, so basically like thorns.
Mm. Hmm.
And if you get too close to the tree, you may get hit just like a rose,
Okay.
but they're
Okay.
but they're they're longer
Okay.
and so she used to always say that the energetics of hawthorn. So in addition to the cardiovascular heart tonic, is about opening your heart
Mm.
with protection.
Oh, I love that. Plants are so cool. Ah, I love that. And so where are they, the hawthorn trees
Mhm.
primarily grown? Where
We
would,
used to have one in the house that I used to live in and at home, just in our front
oh,
yard. in
Oh,
Colorado, in the Front Range of Colorado.
oh,
But it's widely, it has hawthorn's also really known for its resilience. It's a deciduous tree. It can also
oh,
be a shrub, and it is actually in the Rosaceae family. So that's part of the reason why
okay.
it has thorns like roses.
Yeah, okay.
It's found throughout North America, Europe. I mean, it's widely distributed.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so some cultures, really for a long time revered this as a heart tonic, and
Mm-hmm.
modern science is really validating this traditional use. But it
Yeah.
has been viewed as a symbol of not just heart opening, but also protection.
Okay.
And that's, one of the things when you see the characteristics of the plant, it's called the doctrine of signatures, where
Yes.
the plant will sometimes reveal through its the way it is basically what it's about, and
Yeah.
that's something that's talked about a lot in herbal texts. So, for
Okay.
example, on a like a more of a vegetable, beetroot, for example, is a blood tonic. It is known as a blood tonic, and
Right.
beetroot is kind of that
Blood.
red
Yes.
color. And
Yes.
so there's different ways of looking at the plant and how it's been used. But I'd say it's all about heart health, heart circulation, and then mood and emotional wellness. It's funny because hawthorn is in liquid bliss, and I grabbed
That's what yes. Okay. I was
I
gonna
literally was moved to grab this. I did literally like 2 minutes before we got on. I'm like,
so
I'm
cool.
gonna go get some liquid bliss. I think we're gonna wind up talking about this. And
Yes. Ah,
liquid bliss is all about connecting and heart opening. So it has Damiana, which we know is like a feel good
yeah.
plant. It has hawthorn in it. It's just this
Okay.
beautiful blend. I talk sometimes about how we each manifest stress differently because
Mm-hmm.
we are such individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And so although we all know we all have the same fight or flight response and the
Yeah.
same hardwiring of our stress response.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, the way that we manifest stress is different. Some people spend a lot of time thinking and ruminating in their heads. And
Mm-hmm.
liquid bliss is one that's really good for people who disconnect. Meaning
Yeah.
they get stressed. That person we all know, and I mean, we've all done it. I mean, we've all been
Yeah.
there
Yes.
where you get kind of like bristly and you kind of go like this. And I'm
Yes.
all about going inward, but I'm talking about a different kind of thing where you're actually sort of disconnecting from the people that you love the most, and maybe that even could be great to have a good talk with about
Yeah.
what's going on. And you even feel like, oh, I want to connect more with my
Yeah.
mom, sister, brother, friend, coworker, daughter, son, niece, but like I'm just it's like
Yeah.
the like stress and the tension isn't letting you actually open your heart in the way that you
Right.
you actually really want to.
Yes.
And
Yes, I'm so glad you shared that. I need to get buckets of that liquid bliss. But I
yeah,
love that. I love that it exists in a is that a tincture? Yeah.
yes, so that's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up. So this is an herbal tincture, which is a traditional way of extracting the important constituents of a plant in a way that's easy to use, and it's nice because it's liquid, so it's very easily digestible. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I love about the WishGarden tincture is because I knew and loved WishGarden way before I started being our medical director. I've known
Yes.
and loved WishGarden for over 20 plus years. Is it has a pump top. So you
Okay.
don't have to do like the dropper bottles, can get a little messy. And I have a big glass of water here because I'm talking and want to make sure I
Yeah.
stay hydrated. But if what I would want to do if I was going to take this tincture is I just want to have like a little bit of water, and
Mm-hmm.
then you just follow the directions and you put in the amount of pumps
Yes.
in just a little bit of water,
Yeah.
and then you just drink it, and it's that simple. Like you
Yes.
literally go grab a mug or a glass, put in a little bit of water, be like, okay, so it's saying this many pumps, and then you
Yeah.
put in the pumps, and then you can
Yeah.
experience like it says, supports good vibes and
Ah,
connection. That's
I
exactly what it does. I mean,
I
that's
love that.
exactly what it
I'm
does.
gonna send that to everybody I know, and then we're just gonna spread good vibes across the whole world, and everything will be better. We'll just
Well, it's
we'll put
it's
it out there.
definitely helpful.
Yes.
I've used it. It's one of my tinctures from WishGarden Herbs tinctures that I always have. I mean, it's just such a
Yeah.
good one, and
Yeah.
even my son was visiting recently, and I just do want to really we have a great relationship. I was like, you know what? We're going out there. I'm like, I'm gonna take a little liquid bliss. I just think it'll be
Yeah.
great and I'm not drinking these days too. So
Yeah.
like the other thing is you can put it in like a mocktail.
Oh,
It's
cool.
actually really popular to put it.
Okay.
It's like our most popular tincture to put in a mocktail.
Okay,
Um,
great to know. I love that. And
yeah,
you also, I had read that emotional ally is a go-to herbal formula for you.
yes.
What is in that one in particular?
I want to tell you, but I have to find it. I didn't want to leave out.
Yeah.
There were a couple of plants that were like, "Hey,
Ah,
what about me?"
don't leave us out. Yeah.
Cacao is in here.
Oh, okay.
And also passion flower.
Okay.
So it's just got that heart opening, feel good, uh,
Yeah.
just that whole blend. And one of the beautiful things about Wish Garden Herbs is it is woman owned and family run, as you mentioned at the beginning.
Hmm.
And our founder and master herbalist and formulator, Catherine Hunsinger,
Hmm.
she is, I just was about to say genius, and it's actually true. She's a genius formulator. She just
Wow.
really creates such special blends and tinctures that are like nothing that I've ever seen or experienced. And I'm so grateful to get to work with
Yeah.
these plants and also these blends because they really are elegantly crafted and thought out, where she has this formulation approach of really looking at the herbs as a team and how
Yeah.
how they work together because they
Yes.
are a team and they need to not just do what they do individually, but what they do collectively. And
Ah,
so you really won't find, and I can say this with a lot of confidence, the blends like these. I mean,
yeah.
they're very unique. And as someone that's been studying botanical medicine, I've been a naturopathic doctor for almost 25 years and I've been studying botanical medicine for 30.
Yeah.
I'm always like, this is brilliant, like this with this.
Yes.
And it's like putting together a
Yeah.
really good team.
Gosh, I love that. I love everything about teams and collaboration, and the plants are just doing that. And then, ah, this is so exciting.
It's
This is so exciting.
it really is. It's an exciting world, and
Yes.
it has such an impact on people. And so back to your question about emotional ally. So what I love about emotional ally is that it is one of those blends, and I feel this way about liquid bliss too. But I would say because the liquid bliss, you start feeling like, oh, that connectivity. The emotional ally is really there when you need it most. And what I mean by
Okay.
that is it is meant to be taken in the moment during
Okay.
times of stress or overwhelm. You just had a really tough conversation, or you may have received some bad news.
Mm,
It doesn't change that, right? Because
sure.
this is what's happening. It can be really good during times of transition,
Yeah.
after a move or a breakup, or just those kinds of moments.
Yeah.
And it is a very thoughtful, again, and well crafted blend of nervines.
Hmm.
And nervines are herbs that help to calm and soothe the nervous system in the
Hmm.
moment. And again, this is a really sensational team that is led by an herb that's called milky oats. Like, so we think
Oh,
of oats.
yeah.
Milky oats is what's called a nervous system tropho-restorative.
Okay.
That's kind of like a tropho. What is that?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
basically it helps calm the nervous system, but it also it strengthens. It's a restorative.
Okay.
So it's going to restore and strengthen the nervous system when somebody's been through a time of stress. So
Yeah.
as you're feeling that stress, you're also building up your nervous system and
Hmm.
then really calming in the moment through herbs like passion flower and motherwort, which is one of my favorite. Motherwort
Okay.
is a wonderful women's herb that has
Okay.
this gentle, calming energy. Skullcap. So
Yeah.
its intention is very clear. It's to help calm, ground, and center now.
Love that. And I was just thinking intention because when you are pausing in the moment of whatever you're going through, and then you reach out for emotional ally or liquid bliss, you're adding that intention with, so you're combining that teamwork with yourself. It's so great. I love it.
It is. And somebody was talking with me about using emotional ally to then be able to do the work, more work, meaning, sometimes people say, well, just breathe or meditate. Well, sometimes somebody is in such a heightened state
Yes.
that to be able to do some 5, 10, 15-minute middle of the day breath work is actually really a big challenge because they just
Right.
can't even get there. And
Right.
so somebody was saying to me, I take emotional ally, and then I feel like I'm able to better do like some breath work or
Yes.
go be present in a yoga class or do the things I know I'm supposed to do. And emotional ally just helps me get there or
Yes.
have the tough conversation that I
Right.
know I need to have or like do like kind of then go do the work.
Yes. Yeah. It pulls you into that, like you had said, that grounded space, and you're connecting with the earth through the earth's plants. So, ah,
And
this,
just feeling better. I mean, even if you
yeah.
don't go do anything, like sometimes people are like, I don't want to go. Just it just helps you feel better, and then
Yes.
you get to decide what you want to do next. And
Yes.
that might be just take a walk, like
Yeah.
but whatever it is, just it helps you.
Yes, good. Okay, I love that. And there's so many. So I'll send people to the website to check it out. I did want to go because we were talking about stress a little bit. And one of the things I wrote down, I think that you had also written down, was that no, this was from your workshop. Stress and lack of sleep prohibit the production of hormones. How we live our lives and how we deal with stress and the quality of our sleep matters, contributes to aging and longevity. Sleep is hormone replacement. So there's so much involved in that idea of stress. Can you, big topic, can we bring it to how, especially working with the tinctures and the herbal remedies, how do we navigate, I guess, the stress and the lack of sleep using these um, teammates of ours?
Great question. So the first thing it is an overwhelming question because people think like, well, stress is happening, but what we can do is we can build our stress resilience.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say what really comes to me as a tangible place to start is work on your sleep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Start with working on your sleep, like
Mm-hmm.
starting today. And so that's a great way to go because there's this spiral that happens where if you don't get enough sleep or you don't get enough quality sleep is what I should say. It's
Yes.
not just that quantity, it's the quality. Then that leads to elevated cortisol. And then you have increased stress during the day. And then you
Mm.
have a hard time sleeping. If you can just start taking back some of the power into your own hands.
Yes.
And so I think starting with really trying to, as a gift to yourself, not as a, I have to do this, I have to, as a gift to yourself, a regular and consistent bedtime.
Okay.
It is one of the
Good.
most challenging, it sounds like the simplest thing in the entire
Oh,
world, but
so
it is one of
not.
the most
Yes.
challenging things when I work with women including myself for people to do because and men because but often women are like oh but I'm just gonna throw in one more load of laundry and then I wanted and I'm all about like clear and clean your space for the next
Mm-hmm.
morning but we
Mm-hmm.
just try to often at that very bookend of the day do some of the things that we just didn't get to during the day and I think that there's a grace in just saying I've done what I can I've done my best today and
Mm,
now I deserve to rest. And I know that it's going to make tomorrow better, even better. And
absolutely.
so that's why I also got Sleepy Nights.
Oh, good. Okay, I haven't seen that one. Okay.
Sleepy Nights is such a beautiful tincture because it is really an elegant blend of three. I know I keep using the word elegant, but it's just crafted in this way that it's melatonin free. It doesn't have any sort of heavy sedating herbs. It has hops, passion flower, and skullcap, and that's
Oh,
it. And it's intended to be taken right before bed,
Okay.
literally right before bed. Like I'll be completely ready for bed, take this in a little bit of water, and then the only last thing I have to do is brush my teeth. So I want to brush my teeth after I take this,
Yeah.
brush my teeth and get into bed. And then the beautiful thing, Becca, is one thing that's very comforting to people is they can put this on their bedside
Uh-huh.
because this can be taken in the middle of the night
Oh,
because it is a gentler formula. It's very effective.
okay.
Gentle doesn't mean it's effective and gentle. It can be
Yeah.
taken in the middle of the night. So people go, oh, that's just such a relief to me because one of the biggest stresses to me is that I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and I'm not going to know what to do. You
Yes.
can take this in the middle of the night and then drift back to sleep and then get your good night's rest. And that is where it's so foundational and it's so overlooked, but you will significantly impact your stress levels if you start. And by you, I mean all of us.
Yes. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
we start sleeping better,
Absolutely. I
we
100% agree with that. Yeah, because there's so much that goes on during our sleep that is beneficial to us. So that ties me into perimenopause and menopause. I'm in perimenopause right now. And I mean, there's information out there, but just barely coming in, you know. And so what would you recommend for a person to look into for support if they're just like, I have no idea what is happening in my body because we don't have this information and there's lots of different things. What direction would you send them, either related specifically to menopause or to perimenopause and then also menopause?
so I think the biggest this is an area where in all areas knowledge is power, but there
Yeah.
hasn't been enough recognition of the enormity of this change and
Yes.
what it means for women and the myriad of ways that our hormones affect us. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they affect, we think when we're younger about premenstrual time, and that's powerful. So
Mm-hmm.
that's huge. And then as hormones start fluctuating through perimenopause, I mean, it can affect your cognition, your ability to think quickly and clearly,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely can affect your mood and how
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling, like mentally, emotionally. It absolutely affects your sleep. I mean, this goes way, way beyond hot flashes, which again, total respect for the concept
Right.
of hot flashes.
Yeah.
So I think that it's really, really important for women to be their own self advocate
Mm-hmm.
and to go into your healthcare practitioner that you're working with because we're all so unique. So it makes it really hard to give
Right.
general
That's true. And
recommendations
that's what's so hard. It
around this.
it's yes, it's I agree with you.
But
Yeah.
I really, really recommend that women just have the courage to go in and talk to their healthcare practitioner and really ask for answers and say,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about this. This is what's going on with me. Even asking about like from herbs to hormones to just like what, just really elevating that conversation. And I think that we're in a very powerful time to
I
do that.
agree.
I think that as much as I would want to have given those same words of advice 5 years ago, I would have
Mhm.
known in my heart that those conversations were going to be harder for women to have.
Right.
But now it's undeniable. I mean,
Yeah.
from Oprah to some amazing medical doctors that have elevated the conversation,
Mhm.
like this conversation is on the map and
Yes.
it's out in the media, it's on the minds of doctors,
Mhm.
whether, more conventional or alternative. And I do think that women just, whether it's going in, starting with your healthcare practitioner, but then also through like friends. And like I just had a friend reach out to me, really brave actually, and reach out to me who I haven't talked to in quite a while through Instagram and ask me some like pretty direct questions and be like, I
Yeah.
like and respect you, and I'd like to know like some of the choices that you made around the XYZ.
Yeah.
And she just had the courage and I totally stepped up and said, thank you so much for reaching out to me and
Yeah.
just was truthful. So I think we need also women to women
Yeah.
need to be willing to speak our own truth
Yeah.
to share our experiences, to
Right.
share what we've learned, to share what's worked,
Mm-hmm.
to share what hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, of course, you've got to talk to your healthcare practitioner. We also need to talk to each other because
Yeah.
I think that we, as women, have also simultaneously demanded that this gets the spotlight that it 100% deserves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that some of us have also been really quiet about it in our own
Mm-hmm.
ways. So maybe we can do both, where
Yeah.
we are the change agents, where we start saying, yeah, I'll have this conversation. Yes. What do you want to know? Like, I'll tell you what,
Mhm. Yeah.
so, and I think that herbs can be amazing allies along the way. We do have a blend called Cycle Changes that's
Yes.
designed for perimenopause and menopause. And we do have a blend that has gotten a lot of amazing feedback, hot flash tamer,
Okay.
to help provide some relief. And then we actually have an entire collection of hormonal supportive formulas. I'm just talking about the ones that are focused more around
Right.
perimenopause and menopause. So if women
Yeah.
are like, well, this doesn't apply to me, I'm in a different phase of life, or I'm pregnant, or I'm still cycling, we have
Mm.
formulas for all different phases and stages.
Yeah.
So I encourage women to check it out. But I think, one of the things we need to do is keep talking about it. So I'm so glad that
Yes.
you brought it up. And there is no one size fits all, but I do
Yeah.
think that it's starting to go, hey, I'm noticing some changes and
Yeah.
I need to talk about this. And I'm going to talk about it with my partner, if I have a partner, with my friends, with my doctor, with my
Mhm.
herbalist, I am just going to be my own self advocate.
Yes. Well, and that's what, when I had first started noticing shifts in myself, Cycle Changes was the one that I bought. I think that was the very first thing I bought from WishGarden.
Oh my gosh, I
And
love
then I
that.
was like, everything after that, I have, oh my gosh, I need to take a picture. Well, I'm through half of them now, but it's so helpful. And it is also very much, I was checking in with my body. Like, how is this? Is this a yes? Are you responding to this in a, like, is this helpful? Do you need something else? So that part, that's where I'm like, okay, that's my responsibility, is once I get these tools, how am I
Mhm.
going to use them to notice how my body is responding, yes or no, or whatever. So yeah, I love that.
Uh,
And yeah, yeah,
yeah, no, I love that. Thank you for sharing your experience.
yeah, it's so good. It's so helpful.
And I
Um,
think one thing that happens too is some of the shortcuts that we maybe took when we were, I don't want to say younger, but in different times of our lives. And this just came to mind, so I wanted to share it. Like maybe
mhm.
when we were at a different phase of life, we like skipped meals and we didn't eat protein and we didn't,
um, mhm.
stay hydrated, and we like drank a lot of coffee and we like did all these things, and
Mhm.
we could kind of like get away with it. Like I think that's the other thing, is that we're being called on to give our bodies and our nervous systems consistency and
Yeah.
nourishment that we maybe
Yes.
haven't done in the past. And and it's almost like there's not the same buffer. And so that's the other part, is I just, again, prioritizing sleep, protein at every meal. I did it right before this podcast. I was kind of running around and maybe not gonna, I was like, you know what? You're gonna sit down. You need
Good.
me. Like we're
Good.
gonna have nice little some protein,
Yeah.
not just blow through that
Right.
and not prioritize, because we
Yeah.
just do that. And I
Yeah.
think everyone can probably relate to
Yes,
skipping a
absolutely.
meal, to like show up for something else. Or so I would, that's the other part I would say, in addition to the herbal support, it's like, let's look at that foundational support that's
Yeah.
going to actually communicate that nervous system safety to
Yes.
your body.
Yes. And really paying attention to what your body is showing you, that because your body's going to give you a lot of information. And
Yeah.
sometimes it comes in not the most fun ways.
Yes, I mean, it
Yeah.
might be like, oh, that second cup of coffee really doesn't work for me anymore.
Right.
I feel jittery. I
Yes,
can't do it
that is,
anymore. And it's like, oh,
yes.
but I used to. And it's like, well, we are
Yeah.
evolving and growing, so
Yes.
hopefully we can roll with that.
It's so good. Yes. Okay, so then I want to pivot, and then I will wrap it all the way up. Is there anything that's coming that is new, learnings related to plants? Because there are so many. Is there anything that you're like, whoa, this just came up and it's fascinating?
Yes, that's such a great question. I love
Mm.
that. So the plants are so multifaceted, like us, and
Mhm.
they really are. I mean, the plants are multidimensional. They have a lot of
Mhm.
different constituents and a lot of different characteristics. So sometimes we might think this plant is really great for this, or this helps
Mhm.
support this. And I'm going to give you an example of how amazing these plants and how they work. So there's a plant called Yerba Santa, and that translates as like holy plant, basically, or
Mhm.
holy weed. And Yerba Santa is a traditional Southwestern herb plant that is in our kick-ass allergy.
Okay.
And kick-ass allergy is designed to help with when you're experiencing some of those like sneezing and,
Mm.
seasonal. This is for seasonal allergies and
Mhm.
helping to just bring some relief to that. And so Yerba Santa is known to support respiratory health and has been used by indigenous peoples in North America for a long time. So it's got this whole world, and it's a really special and unique inclusion in kick-ass allergy. A lot of the blends don't have Yerba Santa.
Okay.
So I was doing some research on Yerba Santa and just diving into the science of how it works and how it supports the histamine response and all of that. And I found some really fascinating research around it having some neuroprotective effects.
Mm.
Totally different quadrant, different
Oh,
area, but like
wow.
powerful and like a
Okay.
lot of different like research. All of a sudden I was down this whole different path, even though I was doing
Yeah.
looking at this plant around allergies, seasonal allergies. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like it looks like a
Wow.
certain constituent actually may help protect, like have this neuroprotective benefit.
That's huge.
And it's huge. And so it's just a great example of the plants have all of these different ways that they
Yes.
work and different constituents, and they cannot, just like people, the plants cannot be put into a box.
Yes, right.
And
Mm.
so I even brought it up as part of my allergy webinars and an example of plants. I'm like, we're not really going to go down this route of the neuroprotection, but we're constantly learning more and more about them.
That's so shout out to all the plants. I mean, y'all, I mean, round of applause for the plants. I love them.
Well,
Love,
we're so lucky too. What like
we are.
one thing that is really, I think, first of all, I love the Artemis 2 expedition that just happened
Oof.
because it's everyone's been having conversations, philosophical around like
Mhm.
life and life on Earth, and like the astronauts have said what a gift it is to be able to just live on this
Yeah.
planet. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just been kind of mind blowing in the best way.
Yeah.
I think along those same lines is there's a lot of these plants have, if not hundreds of years, thousands, like a
Mm-hmm.
plant like ashwagandha,
Mm-hmm.
thousands of years of people utilizing this plant.
Yes.
And aren't we lucky that in modern times we're like drawing on the strength of the elders of ancient wisdom from literally all over the world, and then we're just like, oh, we get to use, I mean, like it's a huge privilege actually to
Yes.
get to um, see how modern science validates traditional use and to get to use this, to utilize these plants.
Yes. We get to use them.
Yes,
I love that. That's it.
we
Gosh.
do.
And then, yeah, stewarding the land, using them with respect, honoring them, like gratitude for them as you interact with them. I think that's, oh, gosh, I'm just going to go outside and applaud the plants today. Maybe I'll do that every day. I should be doing that every day. No shitting, but I would like to do that every day. Okay, so Dr. Erin, where can people find you? Where can they find Wish Garden?
Yes, so wishgardenherbs.com,
Okay.
our website, is a great resource, not just for learning more about the tinctures, but earlier we were talking about hawthorn. There is an entire blog on hawthorn, and on
Mhm.
really every single herb that we use has a blog, a
Wow.
single herb blog. And then there's blogs about the tinctures, the combination. So it's an amazing educational resource,
Hmm.
wishgardenherbs.com, and it's a beautiful website. Talks more about what we do as a company too, and how we do store the land by working with wildcrafters and organic farms and just all of our relationships. And so you can
Hmm.
learn a lot more about us there.
Yeah.
So that's great. And then
Okay.
Erin Stokes ND on Instagram if you want to follow me. I know sometimes people message or just reach out, but I'm also on our website. So yes.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Erin, you are a big deal. Thank you for being with me today. This was so much fun.
Well, you are a big deal too, Becca. Thanks for putting all this amazing information out in the world and having your podcast.
Of course. I love it. Team effort. We're
Yes.
just going for the team effort here. I love it.
Thank you so much for having me as your guest. I hope I can come back.
Yes, I would love it. Would love it.
Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to rate, review, and follow the show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep showing up and remember, you are a big deal.